everyone hear me? Is the volume loud enough?
Yeah.
I do ask the speakers tonight to use the microphone because we're trying to capture this special occasion that will be aired on cable in following days and weeks to come. And so Jim also gets a copy that he can take with him and watch on a weekly basis. My name is Kevin Carney. I'm the principal here at Grafton High School. And I have the honor and privilege to follow in Jim's footsteps. I was asked to take over for him after Jim's retirement. And as exciting as that was, it's kind of nerve-wracking too. Here we are at a dedication. He's going to be immortalized this evening. Back when I used to teach at a graduate school for aspiring administrators, I would tell my students, put the syllabus aside for a second in the books. This is the best advice I can give you. Follow someone who really messed up on the job. You come out looking, far better in your tenure. Clearly, I didn't follow my own advice. Jay Cummings, our superintendent, have been talking about this night probably for over a year. There's very few occasions that we have, few opportunities over the course of our careers to actually do these dedications with the people that are still in the community. It's reserved for the very few, the very finest. And Jim, you're one of the best. Over 34 years, Jim dedicated his life to his family and his extended family, which was the students, staff, and I would say greater community of Grafton. This was an extension of his home. So it's only fitting that we put his name in here permanently for as long as this building stands. Jay would come in my office in our monthly meetings, and we'd have a packed agenda like always. But he'd say, where are we in the gym thing? Where are we in the gym thing? So I want to thank Ashley Paulson, our athletic director. Where are you, Ashley? She's right here. Ashley started in July. One of her first tasks was, let's get this done. This is the year to do it. And she did a remarkable job taking the lead and really developing a relationship with Jim Pignataro, not the former principal of Grafton High School, but the voice of the Grafton football Gators. Jim can be heard obviously weekly during the fall season, and Ashley obviously as the athletic director stood side by side with him and built a bond over that time. Why the gymnasium? When we think of Jim, why is this the spot that deserves his name, or could we find someplace else? It's symbolic in a number of different ways, but I think back on his influence as a 34-year educator, as a teacher, a coach, advisor, principal. He was a champion not only for Grafton students and athletes, but he really represented Massachusetts student athletes across the state. We have Rich Pearson here with us from the MIAA and MSAA, which gives a sense of his impact on the state of Massachusetts. This is a special occasion. Jim and I became principals, I think, around the same time in the mid-2000s, and I remember walking in the halls of our association's offices and hearing this name, Pig. Who's this Pig that people are saying? He served on a number of different athletic committees and principal committees, and so when you're hearing that nickname come up in different pockets, his voice matters as we talk about what's important in the lives of young adolescents and teenagers. I'll close with this before I turn it over to our first speakers. When they were putting up the lettering, and they were molding the lettering to the gymnasium, this goes back probably a month or so, a young man was really spending a lot of time. He was really excited about his work that he was doing there. He wanted to make sure all of the letters were lined perfectly. He was polishing the letters at one point and smiling. And I said, you really like your job, don't you? He says, I do, but this is exceptionally special for me. Mr. Pignataro was my history teacher. I graduated here from Grafton High School in 1998. So I told Ben Gothier that I will mention this to him, Mr. Pignataro, when we see him on the night of the dedication. So it all comes back to Jim in one way or another. And like I said just a few moments ago, this was an extension of his home. It is his home. And just because you retired a few years ago, Jim, this is still your home and it always will be. You will always be the principal of Grafton High School. At this time, we have a few other speakers who'd like to say a few words about you. I'm going to call up Miss Laura Often, who is on the school committee here, and chair, I believe, this year, again, right?
Yeah.
Of the Grafton School Committee.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, everyone. I'm so pleased to have this opportunity to honor the wonderful Jim Pignataro for his 33 years of leadership and service to the Grafton School District. As many of you know, Jim began at Grafton High School as a social studies history teacher and transitioned to an assistant principal and then took over as principal in 2004 until his retirement in 2021. And over the years, Jim has impacted thousands of students as an educator, advisor, coach, mentor, and friend. I had the opportunity to work with Jim on several occasions over the years on different committees, and I witnessed firsthand his dedication to the students. Whenever we were talking about, Jim would always ask, how does this best impact our students? And I remember the first time I met Jim, I had volunteered for the superintendent search committee, which ultimately resulted in the hire of Dr. Cummings. I stupidly volunteered to chair that committee, not having any idea what I was doing. And Jim was consistently kind, supportive, and helpful to me, even while probably scared to death that this weird lady was going to screw up his hiring his future boss. You can almost see it in his eyes. But that is how Jim is. He never wavers in his support of others to help them grow and learn. And it makes sense that whenever we are in the gym, we will remember Mr. Pignataro, for he is the perfect example of what we expect from our athletes: dedication, strength, leadership, sportsmanship, and being a team player. On behalf of the school committee, I am proud to honor Jim with this dedication of the Jim Pignataro. Thank you, Jim, for your dedication and years of hard work for the students of Grafton. Thank you so much.
Now I'd like to ask Kara Ellis, one of our former teachers, coach, and athletic director that Jim hired several years ago.
He's nervous. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here to share in this very special and deserving moment for Jim and the Grafton community. When Jay first reached out to me to share the news that Grafton would be dedicating and naming the high school gymnasium in Jim's honor, I actually paused for a moment. Wondered if I had heard him correctly. I don't even know if I said this out loud to you, but I was definitely thinking in my head, like, has he seen him play basketball? I mean, if he had said they were naming the track or the football field, but basketball? I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding about your skills, they were terrible. But I did want to say this. In all seriousness, I can't think of a better way to honor this man who has made Grafton his life for more than 30 years, 34 to be exact. I'm sure you'll hear that a few times tonight. He's given GHS his very best as a teacher, a coach, an administrator, a mentor, a fan, and an ambassador. I had the good fortune of working with Jim for 12 years. I was a teacher to start with and a coach and then as athletic director. And I can tell you truthfully, Jim was and always will be Grafton's #1 fan. As an AD, I would always find him at a track meet or stopping in at a field hockey game before he headed home for the night, stopping in to watch a softball game. He would announce all of the football games, helping me clean up after a basketball game, helping me put the chairs away. Jim was always there, always supporting the kids. And you could tell that he enjoyed being there. He wanted to be there. Grafton is a school community of great pride, tradition, and spirit. And I think that embodies who Jim really is. You know, and always caring, Proud of his school, of his students, of the faculty and staff, of all their accomplishments on the classroom, on the stage, in athletics. He was always about traditions as well, whether it was emceeing our pep rallies, or making sure Mr. GHS happened, or traditionally placing seamies in our mailboxes. There's a lot of laughs from the older teachers there. And Jim was spirited. Thinking back, we asked a lot of Jim, but he was always a willing participant. Jim, we need you to participate in this jelly bean eating competition. Jim, we need you to wear this pedometer because you're on our faculty team for the walking competition. You walk a lot and we want to win. Jim, we need you to be a part of this dance number for the talent show. Jim, we need you to not notice when we move all the furniture out of a colleague's classroom and hide it in the book closet. Jim, we really need you to work on your free throws for the faculty-student basketball game. Kidding about that. Jim, we need, and you get the idea. So Jim, I am so thankful I had the opportunity to work with you for more than a decade here at Grafton. They're some of the most fond memories that I have in my career. Grafton was so lucky to have you as a part of their community for all these years. This is such a well-deserved recognition and honor. Congratulations to you.
Okay, it's time for your former boss. He's got a haircut for this evening. That's great. Dr. Cummings. His boss, please join me.
All right. Jim Pignataro is one of my all-time favorite human beings. It's wonderful to have so many people come out tonight, so many people that love Jim. And that alone just kind of gives everybody a common bond. I couldn't be happier to play a role in dedicating our beautiful gymnasium to our friend Jim Pignataro. He, as I said, is just a great man. He's had a profound impact on me, thousands of other staff, parents, and most definitely students, and I'm guessing many of you, if not all of you. Our gymnasium is a place where students learn how to work hard, succeed, deal with struggle, and strive to improve. All of those things are what Jim Pignataro is literally all about. Grafton was incredibly fortunate to have Jim's influence over the past 34 years, and it's wonderful that his legacy is going to be captured forever and will live on in this gymnasium. This time we're going to start the unveiling process. If you were looking up there, like I initially did, I'm like, that is the lightest letter I've ever seen. But we'll start, I guess, with the flag. We'll do the flag. So we've got this, you can pull it.
3,
2, 1. Aside from a picture of the handsome devil, it says, James F. Pignataro served Grafton High School as a coach, social studies teacher, department head, assistant principal, and principal for 34 years. Jim was entirely dedicated to supporting students, both in the classroom and on the athletic fields. He embodied the attributes of great athletes and exemplary leaders: integrity, teamwork, commitment, and personal sacrifice. For these reasons, the gymnasium at Grafton High School will be renamed in his honor. Congratulations. With that, I will invite the man of the hour up to say a few words.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, I'd like to thank Jay, Kevin Carney for the kind words, Kara Ellis for being here and saying some very nice words as well. I also like to thank Ashley, I got to know this year, for her efforts in helping put this ceremony together. A sincere thank you to my family, friends, former colleagues here at Grafton High School, many people I work with in the Grafton Public School system, being here tonight. It does mean a lot to me, enough for you to take time out of your busy lives to be here. Some people I haven't seen in a number of years, so I can't tell you how appreciative I am of that. Physically not here, but I know that they are here in spirit, my parents and my wife. This type of honor, and just seeing my name up there, is really not about one person. It's rather about the outstanding colleagues, and especially the students. It's thousands of students that I had the privilege to work with, as they were all an important part of my life here at Grafton High School. So when I look at my name up there, I honestly see so many other names just intertwined in my name up there, and because it was so much part of my life here at Grafton High School. I am so honored and forever grateful for the time that I was here at Grafton High School. To spend 34 years at one place. It's a special time. You feel a little bit lucky, but I just feel so honored and grateful for the time that I spent here and for the time that I was able to be with so many good people. Because this is truly a great school. It has been for many years and will continue to be so. So I thank you so very much. Thank you.
Well, since we do have the family Pignataro reunion here, we do have some refreshments around the corner. If you'd like to have your picture taken with Jim, stay as long as you'd like, but that concludes our dedication. Please stick around if you have the time.